everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to rediscover Duran Duran's wonderful album, Big Thing. I've been kind of excited about this particular album, and I know a lot of people talk about Big Thing and how great it is. And I'll be honest, I quite often overlook this album when I reach for something to listen to by Duran Duran. It's very often not Big Thing, but that can't happen. It can't happen anymore because, this week I've been listening to this album exclusively, and I can tell you, stay tuned till the end. I'll let you know what I think about this album, but let's go ahead and cover this album track by track. This video is coming out to you with the help and support of Holly Carter, my sponsor, vacation consultant with the Magic for Less Travel. Her information is down below in the description. Go ahead and check it out, but I'll have more detail at the end of the video. Big Thing, track number 1. It was the opening track and often the first song in their live set list during their tour. Was released as a promotional single limited to radio stations and clubs. Big Thing is almost too slow. It's very anthemic. It's a funk jam, and I struggle to enjoy it as a studio track. Maybe if the lyrics were coming in the chorus, if the lyrics in the chorus were coming from a place of like a singer-songwriter kind of place, it would be a little better to me, but it's very do-do-do, 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 do. It's just, I don't know. I can't find the words to describe what that is. It's like I don't have the patience to listen to the song, so I very often skip it. However, if you listen to it live, because I know that during the Big Thing tour, they opened with this song, and I was watching a video, I think it was yesterday, and they were just rehearsing for a live appearance, and live it sounded so good. I'm like, well, I like it here. What's the difference? Why do I not like it so much? Well, I think it's because in a live setting, it does its work. This type of song does its job as an opening track, and it gets people going. But when you're just listening to it, the studio version, in your earphones or whatever, it just doesn't really come across the same. I do like it. I think it's a really good song, and I actually think John Taylor saves it for me because I kind of hone in on the bass, and I think he does a really good job on the bass. So anyway, Big Thing. I Don't Want Your Love. Track number 2, I Don't Want Your Love. The first single released from Big Thing in December 1988. It went to number 4 in USA and number 14 in England. Warren is in the video, however, guitar was played by Chester Kamen. I like the transition between Big Thing and I Don't Want Your Love. And I know there's nothing joining the two songs together, but just the contrast between, Big Thing and then how I Don't Want Your Love starts out. I like that transition. I think it's kind of like your mind, your ears just enjoys it. And I notice that, and I think it's really, really good. This is more of a house dance type of track with guitars, which I like a lot, except for the solo. I'm not really into the solo, which I think is actually Chester Kamen. I think he's the one actually playing solo here. But it's just too chaotic. I mean, if you would have told me, if you hadn't told me, if I didn't read it, I would have thought that was Warren, because I think Warren's actually in the video, but it's actually Chester playing the guitar. It's not even Warren. But everybody knows I Don't Want Your Love. I remember I bought that single when I was, when it came out in 88. And I really liked it. I liked it a lot. All She Wants Is the third track on Big Thing, and also the second single released. It made it to the top 10 in the UK and number 22 in the USA. The song started out with the title Sex, but eventually changed to the current title name. This is another house dance track with a chorus that I think lacks a little bit of ambition. During the time that this song and I Don't Want Your Love was released, it was kind of popular, that the whole house dance, sound, and even like remixing. It was really, really big. Had been around for a couple of years, like real big. and it was very popular. So this kind of song hit pretty hard. It was very popular. With the very heavy beats and the percussion. This song was great. And in this one, Warren and Chester are both credited as playing the guitar, which I think the guitar is really good on this song. I really enjoy it. And Simon singing with some extra attitude. It's a good song, good track. Track number 4, Too Late Marlene. All right, Too Late Marlene. I really like this song a lot. This is one of my favorites on the album. With the exception of the next track, which is called Drug, I think Too Late Marlene starts the next chapter on this album. I absolutely love this song. It's got a beautiful melody. Simon, his flawless vocals take this album over the top, and the chorus, including the harmony, creates the feeling of anticipation until the very end, where the final note allows you to have the resolve that you need. You know what I mean? It just sounds like it just gets to the end of the line and it's not resolved, and then it gets to the end of the line, and then it gets to the end of the line, and you're just like, it needs this resolve. Your ears need to hear this resolve, and at the very end of the chorus it does. And I think that's really great. I like how Simon does that with the vocals. I think it makes the chorus very good and very satisfying to listen to. So in short, this is one of Duran Duran's most beautiful songs that I think that they've ever done, and it seems to be done with just so little effort. It's such a simple song, and it's done so well. Track number 5, Drug, It's Just a State of Mind, originally called Take Me. Drug is infamous for causing a massive disagreement between John Taylor and the rest of the band. John preferred Daniel Abraham's original mix of the song over the final release mix, but was outvoted, causing John to nearly quit the band in protest. Was supposed to have been released as a single, but never was. Okay, Drug. So this kind of matches up with the first 3 tracks, and that's what I was talking about. This is really more of a dance type song. It's a very horn heavy house track, and I recognize that even though I'm not a big fan of dance music of any sort, Drug is actually a good song, and I think it's actually a shame that they didn't release this as a single, because I think it would have met the buyer, the consumer, with the same enjoyment as I Don't Want Your Love and All She Wants Is, because those two did pretty good. So I think this one would have done just as good. I really wish they would have done it, released it, but they didn't. Do You Believe in Shame, the 6th track and the 3rd single released, originally called Do You Believe in Faith, which can be found on the Duran Duran unofficial album called The Medicine, released in 1995, is another song that I absolutely adore on this album. It's another what I call a Sleepy Simon track, singing verse after redundant verse with added Eastern influence. I don't know if you noticed that, but what makes this song so great is that 8 measure bridge in the middle of the song, and it completely changes the song. I mean, do you notice, like, I think all the way until close to 3 minutes, I'm not sure, he just does the verse and then the verse and then another verse and another verse, and they all sound the same. Very redundant. And I've mentioned before that I really enjoy when Duran Duran has like I'm not going to call it lackluster because I enjoy it, but when, you have this non-melodic, redundant, kind of lacking type verse, and then he gets to the chorus, or in this case, I think it's the bridge, and they just kind of explode into these beautiful melodies and harmonies. I like that. I think it's fantastic. They're able to create the music that they want to create, but then have this beautiful melody and just sing beautifully. And it's one of the things that I kind of look forward to. And I think this song is one of the songs that kind of made me think that this is what I like about Duran Duran. When it changes, I call it a bridge. Maybe it's a pre-chorus. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's a chorus, because when he goes back and says the name of the song, Do You Believe in Shame or Love, or it goes back to the original verse and how that sounds. So I'm not sure. It's a kind of even though it's kind of a simple song, I think the parts may be kind of complex. I'm not sure. It's just not a typical made song, but maybe that's why I like it so much. But I love the bass. When I hear the bass, I just absolutely love it. I'm not always listening for the bass, but when I do hear it, I think it's fantastic. Palomino, track number 7 from Big Thing, was previously known as Welcome to the Edge during the recording and had completely different lyrics. With Palomino, now tell me if you thought this, we're taking a trip back into So Red the Rose. And I'm going to read my notes here. I keep looking down, and I have my own notes because I wanted to say specific things about these songs, but it sounds like So Red the Rose with this extremely haunting and beautiful track. Palomino. It's a fantastic song. It's got exceptional vocals, backing vocals by Simon. Going from that quiet, deep, whispery, offbeat vocal in the first verse to a more mid-range vocal from the chest in the next verse to a more forceful and louder vocal with higher tones to finish out the last verse before it goes to the chorus. And in the chorus, Simon continues these beautiful melodies and harmony to create a wonderful chorus that eventually spills into Nick's very confused but genius keyboard solo that builds and justifies the feel of the track. It's maybe the best song on the album. Palomino is one of my favorite songs ever, but it doesn't have an Arcadia sound to it. I don't think it's an Arcadia throwaway, and I think actually John Taylor helped write this song, so kind of crazy. The 8th track, Interlude 1, was previously over a minute long during the recording, and if you slow it down, you can hear Simon singing in the background. I think these interludes are interesting. They always stuck out to me. I've always noticed them, especially the first one. There's really not much to say for it, but it's just, it's just sped up. And I think maybe, I don't know why they do it. I know a lot of times, these kind of interludes are just segues to just kind of transition from one track to the next. Or sometimes they just did something cool in the studio and they just wanted to throw it somewhere on the album. I mean, there's so many different ways, and Duran Duran does eventually do a lot of these little interludes, throughout several albums. So this is kind of experimental for them, and I'm all about it. I think it's pretty good. Track number 9, Land. Land. I like this song a lot. I like how it comes in with the backing vocals, and then it goes into this key change before the actual song starts, like the meat of the song, which catches your attention. I like that a whole lot. This is, again, another Sleepy Simon singing, doing his vocals and a lot of keyboards and John Taylor's bass walking up and down, keeping pace. The harmony in the pre-chorus is gorgeous and continues in the chorus as well. And the entire song consists of Simon's melodic vocals, making it fun for me to sing along with. I love singing the song. And it's got the guitar in it is perfect. It's done very well by Warren all the way through. And I tend to forget about this song. I forget about Land because I very often just kind of listen to the middle of the album, and I probably don't continue on, and I end up not listening to Land. But when I listen to it, for this album or for this video that I'm doing, it's a great song. Flute Interlude, the 10th track on the album. Flute Interlude, again, just another experimental interlude or segue just to join two songs or to just, I don't know. I'd like to know why, if you know why these two interludes are on this particular album, comment down below and educate us. Let us know what these are for. I mean, I know what generally interludes are for, but I don't know why these are in here. Whoops. So if you know, let us know. Track number 11, The Edge of America. This track is a shortened version of the original that lasted over 3 minutes and 30 seconds and combined with Lakeshore Driving, creating a medley. Edge of America. Very keyboard heavy, reverb and echo induced ballad. That showcases LeBon's voice. This is a very beautiful track that just adds to the beauty of this album. And the thing that sticks out to me the most is LeBon's voice. I love his voice in this song. The only problem I have with this song is it just doesn't last long enough. I think this particular version lasts 2 minutes and 37 seconds, but I think it was recorded as like with an additional minute, but it was cut short because they turned it into a medley that's going to spill into Lakeshore Driving, and I think that's why they cut it short. And was it a good idea? Yeah, I do think it was a good idea. I like the artistic value that the medleys bring to an album, even though you almost can't even tell that it is a medley because Edge of America and Lakeshore Driving almost sound like the same song. It sounds like it just kind of goes into this jam, at the end, but it is different. But, songs are like that. I mean, have you heard Bohemian Rhapsody? Songs tend to change. Lakeshore Driving, the 12th and final track on Big Thing. It's a continuation of The Edge of America and plays out the remainder of the album as an instrumental. The abrupt stop at the end is simply due to accidentally running out of tape. Lakeshore Driving is the last half of the medley, and it's very guitar and drum heavy. Warren's guitars, what I consider demonstrating both sides of the type of guitar that you hear on Duran Duran albums. You got that harder, chaotic sound, with the solo in it, but it's playing on top of a very clean rhythm guitar. So, I mean, if it's not showcasing the guitar throughout the whole, career of Duran Duran, at least is showcasing all of Warren's guitar play. I think it does a really good job of that. And I think it sounds right. I think this is a good, appropriate song to have that kind of, Warren guitar on it. So I think it's really, really done well. But being the last song on the album, I have an appreciation, accidentally or not, of the track coming to an abrupt stop. I just like it. And even though it was unintentional, the mistake, leaving it on the album and allowing it to be part of the very last track, was intentional. So I think artistically that was a fantastic choice that Duran Duran made to make this song be last. And just that abrupt stop, boom, we're done. It's completely over. I always prefer, the song to drag out, but the fact that Edge of America and Lakeshore Driving, it's 2 minutes and 37 seconds and then 3 minutes and 6 seconds. So, that's over 5.5 minutes of the last track if you really just kind of consider it one. And it just kind of gives me a Beatle, She's So Heavy kind of feel where it just cuts off. There's an artistic value to that. So I really appreciate it. So in summary, this has been a very enjoyable album for me to go back and review and rediscover for this video. I really like Big Thing. I think it's actually underrated and undervalued as and I think it's one of Duran Duran's more better albums, and that's why I ranked it so high. And I know a lot of people, whenever I, on previous videos or the ranking video, a lot of people talk about Big Thing. A lot of Duran Duran fans like Big Thing. They think it's a really good album, but maybe due to the dating of the dance tracks, I don't want your love and Drug and All She Wants Is. If it weren't for those three, I think this, maybe if those three songs had a little bit more of a classical dance, sound rather than kind of, that late 80s house dance style, I think this album would be in everybody's, or at least Duran Duran fans, top 5 best Duran Duran albums there is, because the rest of the album is absolutely fantastic and musically perfect. There's really nothing wrong with this album. It's actually sequenced well. And when you look at it, like I was talking about before, it comes in chapters. I think Big Thing, I Don't Want Your Love, All She Wants Is kind of chapter 1. Or you may even be able to put in Too Late Marlene. But see, Too Late Marlene and Drug, if they were flip-flop, this would be easier. But Big Thing, I Don't Want Your Love, All She Wants Is, could be the first chapter. Then to Late Marlene, Drug, Do You Believe in Shame, and Palomino seem to be like a middle chapter. And then going from the interlude, Land, Flute Interlude, The Edge of America, Lakeshore Driving seems to be that last chapter. That's kind of how I see this album. But Drug being after Too Late Marlene kind of messes that up. So I don't know if it really works. But whenever the Future Past album is released, which I just pre-ordered it the other day on Amazon, whenever that's released and I update my Duran Duran rankings, it's a very good chance Big Thing may jump up a notch or two. We'll see. I may have underranked it a little bit. I can think of one record that I think maybe it's better than, but I ranked that record higher than this one. We'll see. We'll see once we get there. But anyway, that's it for me today. I'm really glad you were able to join me. Don't forget to subscribe. Join me on Instagram at RedMug Music. Also, I'm on Twitter at RedMug Music. And let's talk quickly about my sponsor, which is Holly Carter, vacation consultant with the Magic for Less Travel, giving you the personalized service and expert guidance you need for the vacation you deserve. I'll put the information in the description down below, so check that out because I always put stuff down there. And it'll be a link so you can request a free, no obligation quote. So if you're ready to go to Disney, and I feel like a lot of people are because they're getting packed, and so is Universal. But if you're ready to do those two, or maybe like a Disney cruise, check her out. She will not disappoint you. She is one of the best, and I highly recommend Holly Carter. So check her out. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next week.